And this is how I look with the overhead and my bedside lamp on. I think the problem is I need a higher contrast face. Oh well, you two can fix it. It's gonna be a raw talker tonight, cause my computer's being a bitch and I don't want to lose my place on Facebook and yada yada yada. There's a nasty line hum on my microphone now and I'm just super pissed about it. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk to you tonight about. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about the place you work versus the place where work gets done. This is a very simple institutional analysis, and yet I haven't seen it anywhere else. When you get together, say you have just started an NGO, a tiny little thing. You're not even getting a salary yet. But then, through an aggressive grant writing campaign, you get an actual office and staff. And you think, great. Now I'm going to tackle the problem. Let's say it's homelessness. And probably while it's you and a couple of young people, energetic, idealistic, you'll get a lot done. Assuming you can avoid the trap. Because even with only just a couple of people in that office, the trap, the social trap, can start closing in on you. And that is when, instead of focusing on events outside the office, like say actually helping homeless people, it becomes a lot more about what's happening inside the office. Because that office, just by dint of having people working together in it, has now become its own social environment. That means that it has its own family, in another sense it's its own town, and already the institutional mentality can set in, which is, this is us versus the world. Now, that's okay if what you do does not actually take place in the office or around the office, but out there in the world, like helping homeless people. That way, you're not in your own territory when you're dealing with people. But if, say, your organization grows and now you've got 10 people plus you, and it starts to be important for people to come and see the facility, because now, of course, it's not you going out there helping homeless people. You got your own soup kitchen. And theoretically, you're there to help the homeless people. But the thing is, they're, in all logical, obvious sense, they're the people you're there for. But to our more primitive social minds, they're strangers on your territory, because now that office is your space. And so the people you're there to serve, you can develop a bit of an antipathy to them. And now that you have 10 people, the social variables have become way more complicated. And the more complicated the social variables are, the more time the actual just social working of the office will take away from whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. And the bigger an organization gets, the more this happens. The purported function, whatever it is you're supposed to be doing, whether it's something as noble as, ladling soup to the homeless, or something as remote and aloof as being Section A of accounts receivable. Whatever it is you're supposed to be doing becomes secondary to the social life of the office. Because again, now your little unit is a town. It's its own tiny family / community. And so it's Section A of accounts receivable against the world. So then you've got the problem of people getting further and further away from their actual purpose. Now, if this continues, you end up with what I call the social party, where things are so relaxed at the office that pretty much people just circulate like it's a party. They spend most of their time just wandering around talking to one another. And the thing is, you totally can keep up a whole day doing that and getting absolutely nothing done. Or, because presumably if you're a small part of a big machine, the big machine kind of wants you to get shit done, you'll do the stuff, but you'll do it like it's an afterthought. Like you're just paying the cover charge. And so it's not exactly going to be wonderful work. And so you end up with the social party atmosphere. It can happen to absolutely anybody, even people with the best intentions of the world, who go in thinking, I'm going to really get shit done. But they don't know about the magnetism of the social party. They don't know that nobody decided no work would get done. It was an institutional thing, an emergent phenomenon that happened because of human dynamics. That it starts with, a little, we should just be a little more relaxed. And that's cool, because a relaxed workplace is actually far more efficient. Look up sports psychology if you want to know why. But if that goes too far, then you have the social party, and people individually only resist work a little. But as a group, you're doing quite a good job of it, actually. And so you have a bunch of people who are hired to do a thing and getting paid to do it, but who don't really consider doing that thing to be the important part of the day. And obviously, in that situation, efficiency is going to be pretty fucking low. I mean, it's the polar opposite of the overmanaged workplace. I guess you could call it the undermanaged workplace. The micromanager who just squeezes all the life out of everybody by wanting everything counted, everything reported, and everything tabulated in triplicate. And the thing is, the social party, we've all seen it. We've seen it when you enter a place purportedly of business, and you're waiting for service. You need to pay for something or whatever. And you can really tell there's a bunch of people just talking in the back. And you wait, because you really need this thing. And then someone lazily saunters out there and gives you a look like you just interrupted them, and then begrudgingly gives you service. Now, by any sensible measure, that is exactly the opposite of what should be true. And yet it happens. It's the social party. People have just slipped into just schmooze mode, really. So that's my thoughts tonight on one of the things that happens in any kind of work dynamic. I mean, I've talked about offices because, frankly, I'm big and soft and only suitable for indoor work. But absolutely any workplace. It could be the most manly place in the world, and it still can happen. So beware the social party. That's when someone needs to come in and remind people, we're here for a reason, and that reason is to do a job. And that's why people keep having to be told, our focus is on the customer. Otherwise, people start to think of the customer as the enemy. Well, that's my 2 cents for tonight, folks. I will talk to you nice people again tomorrow. And yes, I probably should have combed my hair.